Today we are going to learn about constant of proportions or proportionality with graphs. Blank is a relationship that involves a linear graph going through the origin. So that's proportional. And blank is a relationship that involves a linear graph going through a point other than the origin, or a graph that is nonlinear even if it goes through the origin is non-proportional. In blank, the x values, the variable is not dependent on the other values. So this is the input. And the output are the y values. This variable depends on the x values. Okay, so let's look at one. Use the following graph to generate a table. Use the table to find the constant of proportionality and write an equation for the graph. So if we're looking at the graph, we can see that it's a straight line, that it goes through the origin. The origin is right here at 0, 0. So it's a little over to the left. Right there at 0, 0. So because it's linear and it goes through the origin, it is proportional. So we're going to just make note of that right here, proportional. Okay, and so for the table, we're going to just grab some values through the what we see on the graph. So if we're looking at the graph, we see that 0, 0, the origin is a value. Okay, so then right here on bags, we go over 1 and we go up to where we meet the line right here. That's 1 bag, which is your x value. And 1 bag's weight is 30 pounds. And then we can just continue going up from there. Go over to the 2 and up to the dot. And 2 bags is 60. And then one last one, 3. 3 bags is 90 pounds. Okay, so to find unit rate is your y over your x. So if we're going y over x, because it's proportional, I honestly, guys, can just grab this line right here. Y over x is 30 over 1. Unit rate means 1 at the bottom right here per 1. So because my graph is proportional, I don't have to sit there and simplify. So we see, just to prove a point, 90 over 3 simplifies to 30 over 1. So that is your unit rate. Okay, and so then it asks for K. K is your unit rate simplified. So if it's 30 over 1, K is 30. And that is your constant of proportionality. So then we take this and we write an equation. So what's happening every single time? Your K, remember we have this equation that is y equals kx. That is how we write a proportional equation. So we know y equals, and we know k is 30, and then we put the x value there. So if I were to want to find for 100 bags, I can say y equals 30 times 100, and y equals 3,000 pounds. Okay, let's try another one. So use the following table to graph the points on the blank coordinate grid. Use the following information to find the unit rate, constant rate of proportionality, and write an equation. So here I am. Let's go ahead and we're going to go from a table to a graph instead of a graph to a table. So -2, -1 is right here. Then we have 0, 0, so it goes through the origin. 2, 1, and 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it's a little high. Okay. So now we're going to find our unit rate. Remember, it's y over x. It is linear. It does go through a straight line, but we don't have in our table, we don't have per 1. We don't have where x is 1, so we are going to have to grab some values. So we have y over x would be 1 over 2 equals 2 over 4. Okay, so if I look at those, what is that simplified to? 2, 1 goes into itself once and into 2 times. I need 1 at the bottom, so we could take away this one and just focus here. To get 1 on the bottom, I would have to divide, my dots aren't showing up. I would have to divide by 2, right? And then 1 divided by 2 would be 0.5. So that would be my unit rate right there, 0.5 over 1. So it's half per 1. What is your K? Remember, your K is your unit rate simplified. So 0.5 over 1 is just equal to 0.5. Okay, so that's your K. And so to write an equation, remember y equals kx. Y equals 0.5x. Okay. Use the following equation to create a table and a graph. So now we're working from an equation filling in. So when we have to fill in a table, I always like to do 0, 1, 2, 3. They're easy values, and 0, 0 is what I'm looking for proportionality. So if we have y equals 4x, we're just plugging in these values for x. Y equals 4 times 0, which is 0. Y equals 4 times 1, which is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. So now I can take those values and come over here, 0, 0, so we do pass through the origin. Okay, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 8 doesn't fit on the graph, but here we can see, let me try to draw a straight line. There we go. We can go through the origin, and it is a straight line. So there's our table and our graph. Last one. Match the following scenario to the appropriate graph. Oscar made a scale drawing of his backyard. In his drawing, 1/2 inch represents 5 feet. Which graph best represents this relationship? So if we just look at graph 1, we can see that inches is your x and feet is your y. Okay, so 1/2 equals 5 feet. So our graph has to have that value on here. If we look right here, 1/2 is, and 5 is right there. So that graph doesn't work. Here's a half, and here is 5. But this is not correct. So if we go up 1, then we would be at a 2 right here. Okay. And then 1/2, 5. Then like we said, we're going to double it. So for 1, it would be 10. 2, 20. So that one, oh wait. That one looks like it works. Let's plug in y equals, well, let's just go here. And this one obviously does not work. So your answer is B. Okay, that is all we have for today.